Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today we are going to talk about the enumeration of SMB. So first of all, what is SMB? So SMB is basically the server message block, which is a network protocol that is used for file sharing, printer sharing, and inter-process communication in Windows-based networks. So it basically operates on ports 445 and 139 and allows system to communicate with each other to access resources like files, printers, or shared folders. So SMB enumeration is important because it involves gathering information about the SMB service on a target machine, such as shared resources, user accounts, and system configurations, and most importantly, attackers use this information to identify potential vulnerabilities and escalate privileges, right? So we will be using MSF console. So MSF console, which is the command line interface for the Metasploit framework, right? And which is very powerful tool widely used for penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, and exploitation. It basically allows us to interact with the Metasploit modules, configure exploits, run payloads, and test system. Let's go ahead and run that MSF console. Meanwhile, give you a bit more characteristics of MSF console or key features. It basically have some key features like exploit database. It contains thousands of pre-built exploits for known vulnerabilities. And the next one is payload. So it delivers the code to execute after exploitation. Another one is auxiliary modules, which is used for scanning and enumeration. So in this video, basically we'll be focused on auxiliary modules. And another one is called post exploitation, which is used for privilege escalation or system pivoting, right? So as we'll be enumerating SMB, so first of all, let us search the SMB. SEARCH SMB. As I am enumerating the SMB, that's why first of all I'm searching the SMB. If I press enter, it gives me about 441 results, right? So the characteristics that I was talking about, the exploit that I have mentioned earlier, which contains the thousands of pre-built exploits for known vulnerabilities, and then the payload, and then auxiliary. So in this video we'll be focusing on auxiliary. Most importantly, most specifically we'll be focusing to identify the SMB version. Okay, so let us find the auxiliary. Here we can see the auxiliary, but this is not for the SMB version. This is for something else. Also we can see the auxiliary in here, but this is not for the SMB version. Okay, so let us check for the SMB version. Here we can see the auxiliary. This is also not for the SMB version. Okay, here we got it. So this 389 nung modules is basically indicating the SMB version. So we'll be using this module. So in order to use that, simply copy paste this, and then you have to write use and then paste it. Also you can use 389, the specific number for this address. So if I press enter, so at this moment I am in the scanner SMB and SMB version. So if I write info, we'll get the information. So here we can see we can set the R host. R host is basically your target host or remote host. So here we'll be specifying the our target IP address. Okay, and R port, it's not required at this moment, and also I don't know the R port. So yeah, and there is a thread. We can specify the thread, but I'll be keep it as default. So for now I'll be just set the R host. That means I have to put down my target IP. So let's say set R host and your target IP. So in my case, as I am running on Metasploitable 2, which is a vulnerable machines. So the target IP of Metasploitable 2 is basically 168.1.4. In your case, you might give your target IP address. Okay, and if I press enter, I can see the R host is set to this IP address. Okay, now let's go ahead and run and see whether can we get the SMB version or not. So yeah, we got it. So the this is the version Samba 3.0.20 Debian. So this is the versions that we got. And so further, what can we do? We can look for the vulnerabilities for these specific versions, and then we can exploit that. So yeah, that's how the things actually work. So yeah, we got the SMB version. And you can also explore the other. We got about 441 results, right? So you can explore the uh, other modules. Now let's exit this. Now let us say another. Now let us show you the another tool, which is the SMB client, which is also a command line tool that allows us to interact with SMB. Okay, so basically SMB works like an FTP client for SMB client works like an FTP client for accessing and managing shared folders and files on an SMB server. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this SMB client, and if I write help here, I'm seeing the usage, how to use that. So let's go ahead and see the list. It basically get a list of share availables on the host. Now let's go ahead and use the list. So in order to use that, I have to write SMB client, and then I have to put down the capital L, and then by convention you have to put 4 backslash and your target IP 168.1.4, and then again 2 backslash. And then if I press enter, it will be asking for the password. So basically, if the system is vulnerable, if you press enter, it will get into the system. If the system is not vulnerable, then in that case it will say access denied. So now let's go ahead and press enter. So that means the system is vulnerable, that's why we get into the system, right? Now we can see the share name over there, which is basically the print which is temporary opt and IPSC admin. Now let's see whether can we access it or not. So in order to access the share name, what we have to do, SMB client and then 4 backslash, then you have to put your target IP 168.1.4, and then let's say I want to access the print. So yeah, it is asking for password as usual. I'll be press enter. So unfortunately in this case the access is denied. That means I don't have the access to the print. Now let's say whether have I access to temp. Let's use temp, and if I press enter, again it is asking for password. Let's press enter. Okay, this time we get into the system. See, the login is successful. Okay, now let's first of all execute the command help. We can see there's a lot of commands out there. We can use any of them. Let's say first of all use the pwd, which will be print working directory. So that means it is working. Our current directory is this, and let us use another command. Let's try to make a directory. So for that this one, make a directory. For that I'll be using mkdir, and let's say let's name a file. Let's say testing. Okay, and if I press enter, it is saying making remote directory testing. Okay, let me try again. Test, let's say test 9. If I press enter, let's see ls, it will be listing the directories. See, the directory has been created, which is test 9. Okay, and let's see let's see another command, which is rmdir. So rmdir is basically used for removing the directory. So let us try to remove this directory. So this directory is created, just mkdir test9. So this directory has been created just a while ago. Now let us remove the directory, rmdir and the directory name. Now if I press enter, and let us see ls, which will be listing the directories. See, in earlier we have seen there was a test9, but when I use the rm directory, it basically removed that directory. Okay, so that's how you can actually get the informations. So let's go ahead. You can actually explore these 3 commands and see whether you have the access or not. Also, you can see the Samba version, Metasploitable server version in here, which is the Samba 3.0.20. Okay, so that's it for today. In the next video, I'll be discussing about the enumeration of SSH. So that's it for today. See you in next video.